I'm going to now call on Joy Ojakovo, who is the managing director, the general manager and director of Progress Trust TPFA Limited. She has over 20 years experience in auditing, banking, accounting, information technology, and asset management. I'm going to give Joy the floor to introduce herself more, and I'm going to put your slides on so that you can give your presentation. So Joy, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Esusa. I think you've said almost everything. So there's no need for any more introduction. My name is Joy Ojakovo. So please, if you can just share the slides with me.
Hold on.
Thank you. So I'm going to be talking about pensions and digital prospects in Nigeria. As a form of introduction, pension is a post-retirement benefit. It's also a form of social security. A pension fund is any fund or plan or scheme that provides retirement income. And currently, technology is rapidly transforming the way that the financial sector is operating, and management and delivery of pensions is no exception. Digital transformation has made a positive impact on businesses, and operations in the finance industry. And this has led to significant opportunities of faster, cost-effective operations, meeting regulatory deadlines, improved employee and consumer experience, and also, being able to remain competitive.
Please hold on. Can you see the screen? Can everyone see the screen?
We can see it, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can see the slide here.
Okay.
So you can just move to the next slide, which is the timeline.
Okay.
I think that's where I am now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so this is the timeline of the pension industry in Nigeria. You can see that in 1961, that was when there was a Pension Ordinance Act, and the act was made retroactive up to 1946. The pension industry prior to 1979 has little or no attention was paid to regulations. But when that Pension Ordinance Act was promulgated in 1951, the first private pension scheme was set up by Nigerian breweries, and that scheme is currently still in place, and that is where I am now currently the general manager, the Progress Trust Closed Pension Fund. So thereafter, in 1961, there was now another, the pensions, the MPF. The MPF was promulgated, and that was really meant to look at the private sector where there was no, organized pension scheme. Then in 1979, there was now a pension decree that was to cater for the civil service. There was now a transition in 1973 to the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund, which was in place for a very long time until 2004, where there was a transformation in the sector. Previously we had issues with the pension scheme in Nigeria. It was marred by corruption. There were frequent complaints by pensioners of people dying and collapsing in queues while attempting to, collect their pensions. There were cases of underfunding, and this was also coupled with inadequate record keeping, where deceased families were not able to, assess pensions of their breadwinner. So there was a reform by the Obasanjo regime in 2004. That was when we then had the Pension Reform Act. So the industry has actually grown in leaps and bounds. You know, as at 2009, it was a very small industry with about 4 million contributors and about 1.5 trillion in assets under maintenance. But in 2014, there was now a Pension Reform Act where some adjustments were made after the initial, scheme had been in operation for some time, and also with lessons learned, there was now a review. So this Pension Reform Act was made to transform the industry, and over time we have seen a growth. So if I then go to the next slide, which is the next slide, please.
Okay, we're there, yeah.
Yeah. So assets under maintenance globally, the assets in retirement savings accounts has increased globally. As at 2019, it was about $50 trillion, with the OECD countries accounting for about 49 trillion out of this total. And other countries, including Nigeria, you can see Nigeria in one of the categories there, they form the others. So you find out that in the Americas, in Australia, that's where you have the major pension schemes. But there's still opportunities for growth because these schemes are not really taken seriously in the developing countries. So that's where we see opportunities. Then the next slide, please.
Okay. Yeah.
So over time, we found out that assets under maintenance in Nigeria has actually been growing. It started from being unregulated and then keeping records. We now found out that the industry has really, really improved. So from about 1.5 big trillion assets under maintenance as at 2009, it has grown to about 10.2 trillion over a period of 10 years. And the contributors has actually also doubled from about 4 million contributors in 2009 to about 8 million in 2019.
So should
next slide.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, go on.
This slide speaks to the pension assets under maintenance. In Nigeria, pension assets under maintenance accounted for about 1.5% of GDP as at 2006. And in 2017, it has grown to about 6.5%, signifying that there's opportunities for growth in the country. And if you then go to the next slide, where we then look at another criteria, then we are now looking at the population of Nigeria. Nigerians' population has grown from about 150 million in 2008 to over 200 million currently. However, the contributors to organized pension schemes, they are less than about 4% of the population. Yeah, and this is mainly driven by the private sector. So this implies that participation in the private sector is more than in the public sector. So there is need for further investment in this area. And if you then drill it further down to the working population, as at 2019, only about 12% of the working population in Nigeria are contributors to pension schemes. So it means that there's real opportunities in this sector for people to come into, invest, and for digital to drive contribution and performance in that area. The next slide, we then talk about the players in the industry. The major players in the industry, that's the pension industry in Nigeria, are the pension fund administrators, the pension fund custodians, and then the closed pension funds. Currently, we have about 22, as of 2019, we have about 22 pension fund administrators in Nigeria. These are, private sector organizations, but they are licensed by the National Pension Commission, which is the regulator. The custodians, we have just 4 of them. And these 4 custodians are expected to serve the total pension fund administrators.
Please mute yourselves.
Okay. For a pension fund, for you to establish a pension fund administrator business in Nigeria, you need to be, registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission and then licensed by the National Pension Commission. There are several criteria that are required, which can be shared later. But for a pension fund custodian, the same scenario applies. You have to be registered. But an additional requirement is that you should be owned by a financial institution with a net worth of over 25 billion naira. If you translate that to dollar terms, using maybe the current exchange rates, it should be in the range of about $250 million. So there are a lot of restrictions to entry because the sector is actually built on trust and the ability for people to be able to be sure that the monies that they have put in there will actually be safe and secure.
Okay.
So let's now go to the next session where we talk about the levers. The levers, that's what will make a pension administrator to thrive in Nigeria. Amidst fears that the government may nationalize pension assets due to fund budget deficits and also trade unions clamoring for additional pension contribution protection laws, PwC in a report published in 2016 identified, amongst others, 4 dynamic levers, which they believe will serve as competitive factors that will further shape the pension industry in Nigeria. We will talk about the new entrants. So due to globalization, we see a lot of foreign players and large financial services organizations coming into the industry because actually we have high industry returns in that sector. We also see employment of expatriates coming to bridge the professional skills gap because as we all know, the sector is actually just growing less than 20 years.
We can't hear you, Joy. Hello, we can't hear you. Joy.
It's my mic.
Okay,
I can hear you.
Okay, go on now. We can hear you now.
Oh, sorry about that. The internet is a bit unstable. Okay, I can't, I don't know where you missed me, but I'm talking about the levers in the industry.
Yes, the levers, yeah.
Okay, so I talked about new entrants. Due to globalization, we see huge financial services organizations coming into the country to take advantage of the high returns. And then we see expatriates coming into the sector to bridge the professional skills gap. Another area is industry rivalry. We see a lot of mergers and acquisition within the industry to take advantage of economics of scale. Currently, there was a merger between Access Bank and Diamond Bank, and Diamond Bank had a pension fund custodian, so they now merged their operations, so we then have Access Pension Fund Custodian. We also see FCMB pensions entering into agreement to acquire a percentage of shares in ICO pensions, which is one of the biggest PFAs in Nigeria as well. Then we talk about market coverage, introduction of new products and innovation in digital technologies. We assist to get better market coverage. If you recall, when we looked at the population and also the contributors, there's a significant, difference. If just about 4% of the population are contributors to, to pension funds. So with the PENCOM introducing several policies and guidelines to provide enabling regulatory environments, this can also accelerate growth in the market. Like they recently introduced the micro pension scheme sometime in 2019 to take care of small and medium scale entrepreneurs. Then we also need to understand the contributor dynamics, so the multi-front structure, which is also a new innovation by the regulator, voluntary savings scheme, increased financial literacy, leading to better demand for service, especially the social media platforms have helped to shift the balance of power to contributors. So I then go to the next slide where we talk about digital innovations in the pension industry.
How long have you got, Joy?
Okay, I think maybe in about 5 minutes I should be done. I hope it's okay.
Okay, yeah, okay, please.
Okay, so I'll just quickly run through this slide because this is mainly the main part of it. So innovative applications of technology for financial services or fintech is set to transform traditional paradigms in the pension industry. Its use in communications cannot be overemphasized because there is a need for improved communication and engagement with consumers and their pension plans. So the use of IT or digital can generate member engagements, periodic reporting, marketing communications, can enhance the quality and effectiveness of interaction between pension providers and members. We can also have smart communications, that can enable consumers to take advantage of behavioral insights, and based on that, push notifications can be sent to consumers that will nudge people, to take decisions either by checking their balances, making additional contributions, and also with these digital communications, we can reach rural residents, underserved communities, even women, people that are financially excluded from, these opportunities to invest in their future, which is what pension is all about. Then the platform and dashboards, people could be, if this is made available, people can be able to manage their own data more effectively, and then they'll be able to take action, especially when they have multiple pension plans. And also another section on impact on the internal processes, that's on the part of the company itself. You can use digital in scheme management, in terms of scheme administration, risk management, and also it can be used for, digital auto enrollment, just like we see in UK. Data analytics, that can help in improving the understanding and savings and spending habits so that people can actually tailor the financing of their retirement. In investment management as well, technology can help to reduce the cost of portfolio management, leading to improved portfolio performance. In terms of regulatory compliance, it is really, really labor intensive. But when IT is brought into bear, risk management, compliance reporting is improved, data mining is also improved, and it can also facilitate data sharing across jurisdictions. So if somebody wants to move his pension from, or if a regulator in US wants to, check what is happening in Nigeria, that interchange is also possible. So these are what digital technology can do in pensions. Blockchain, though it's not really very well applied in Nigeria, but it has a potential in terms of also dashboards and also, providing information and designing new pension ecosystems, which we cannot even begin to imagine right now.
Okay.
And
you
then
have 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'll soon be done, Esosa, please. In terms of digital and its impact on business, businesses can upgrade their systems, and it can also help in low cost, fee structure, where businesses can actually drill down to the granular level to know their cost and then adopt, efficient pricing in their operations. So just to quickly round up, if I go to the risk associated with digital, we are all aware of it: security, aggravated exclusion, especially for those who are not digitally savvy. And then consumers may place too much trust in these digital solutions. And then there's also the risk of scams, overtaking the industry if security is not taken into consideration. So the key takeaway is that fintech is actually improving the efficiency, and we cannot escape it. It's something that pension industry in Nigeria should invest in, and people can also invest in digital to be able to take advantage of returns and improve customer experiences. Then if I go to the next slide, which is the ancillary businesses that, is businesses that are ancillary to the pension industry. We have, direct sales agents, which, they can actually reach people in undeserved communities by direct marketing. We have rating agencies, mutual funds, real estate investment trusts. So these are areas that can also, digital can help to improve in the industry. So in conclusion, in order to take advantage of opportunities that the industry provides, investors should also consider other areas like contribution processing or reconciled contribution with PFAs, biometric technologies to capture contributor details, and this will prevent identity theft as well in the industry. And for regulators, data analytics and use of business intelligence will help to reduce regulatory pressures. I thank you all for listening to me. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You've heard what Joy has talked about. There's huge opportunity in the pensions sector. She told you in terms of the figures, we're talking about trillions of dollars. And she's also told you that the pensions industry in Nigeria is really at a very, it's just starting, it's like a frontier zone at the moment. And that out of almost 200 million people, we only have about 4% who are contributors. So that's huge. And another thing she's talked about, the players in the market, and that they are now, there's mergers and acquisition, and they're taking advantage of economies of scale, that there are lots of restrictions. However, there's also the element of compliance. There's the better market coverage, significant difference between the 4% of contributors to pension funds. Micro pension schemes in 2019, multi-fund structure, voluntary savings, enhance the quality and interaction between pension contributors and providers. you've also heard in terms of this, the benefits of making the system more efficient and also more secured. And she's giving you a lot of examples where there are opportunities in the industry.